Hardcore, when cities disappear. Imagine discovering an entire city hidden beneath a jungle. Not a temple, not a road, an entire city, roads, neighborhoods, monuments, places where thousands of people once lived, traded, worshipped, and gathered. Now imagine learning that this was a unique event. Across the world, cities have vanished beneath forests, disappeared under deserts, sunk beneath rising waters, and faded so completely that for centuries people doubted they had ever existed at all. It sounds like fiction. Yes, it's one of history's most fascinating realistic. Throughout these centuries, some of humanity's greatest cities have shared the same fate. They flourished, they expanded, they became a center as well, power and culture. Then they disappeared, not away some because of war, not away because of invasion. Often, their decline happened slowly. A changing climate, shifting trade routes, political instability, growing environmental pressures. As human activities weaken, nature moves in. Roots push through stone walls, winds spread across abandoned temples, sand covers forgotten roads. Water reclaimed lands that had once supported thriving communities years after years. The landscape continued to change until the entire city became part of their surroundings. What makes this place so remarkable is that many were among the greatest urban centers of their time. They were not isolated settlements on the edge of history. They were capitals, villages, centers, trading hubs, places that influences entire regions. Their builders created monuments designed to endure for generations. Everything about their cities suggested permanence. Yet history tells a different story. Forests continue to grow. Rivers, streams, coastline shift. Deserts expand. The world is constantly transforming itself, whether humans notice or not. Given enough time, even the most ambitious creations can be altered beyond recognition. And yes, many of these cities were not lost forever. After a century of silence, they were found again. Explorers entered remote jungle and discovered towering temples rising above the tree. Archaeologists uncovered those hidden beneath dense vegetation. Rivers descended beneath coastal waters and found monuments resting on the sea. Each discovery revealed something extraordinary. The story was larger than we imagined. Entire chapters of the human story has remained hidden for generations. Perhaps the most surprising lesson is that nature often plays two roles at once. It has erased their cities from memories, but it also has preserved them. The struggle protected ancient temples. The desert southwest forgotten monuments. The sea safeguarded artifacts beneath layers of sediment. The same force that conceal these places often ensure their survival. Today, it's easy to believe that the world has already been explored, that every great mystery has been solved, but lost cities suggest otherwise. Even now, important pieces of our past may remain hidden beneath forests, deserts, and oceans, waiting to be discovered. In this journey, great whales travel across continents to explore some of the most extraordinary cities ever reclaimed by nature. We will enter the rest of South Asia, where a powerful empire disappears beneath towering trees. We will venture into the forests of Central America, where ancient primaries stood hidden for centuries. We will cross desert landscapes to uncover a city cave directly into stone. We will visit a forgotten capital built among the water of the Pacific, and we will descend beneath the Mediterranean Sea to explore a city that sinks beneath the waters. Its story is different. Each city for its own part, yet together they reveal a timeless truth. Civilizations rise, cities flourish, empire leave behind words that seem eternal. But time never stops, nature never stops, and eventually even the greatest cities become a part of the landscape around them. Petra, Angkor, the Jago Empire lost to time. Within the forest of Cambodia lies one of the most extraordinary archaeological sites on Earth. Stone towers rise above a sea of debris. Ancient corridors disappear into shadow. Massive tree roots grab themselves around walls built centuries ago. It feels as thought retracts is slowly pulling. Yet what survives today represents only a small part of what once existed. Angkor was not simply a collection of monuments. It was a vast urban center that flourished between the 9th and 15th centuries. At its peak, hundreds of thousands of people live across the region, making it one of the largest cities on Earth at the time when most urban centers were far smaller. Roads connected distant communities. Canals across the landscape. Reservoirs store enormous quantities of water. Simple service exports, religious centers, and symbols of imperial power. The most famous of these communities was Angkor Wat, though during the 10th century it remains the largest religious monument ever constructed. Its towering spire dominates the horizons, while its walls are covered with intricate carving depicting gods, kings, battles, and scenes from daily life. Even a century later, it remains one of humanity's greatest architectural achievements. But of course, success depended on one that impressive buildings. The city's true strength came from its ability to manage water. The Khmer developed an extensive network of canals and reservoirs that helped control seasonal rains and support agriculture throughout the region. This system allowed its population to grow and helped transform Angkor into the center of a powerful empire. For generations, the city prospered. It will expand their influence across much of Southeast Asia. Its temple multiplied, its population increased. Too many people living there. Angkor must have seemed permanent, but history rarely remained unchanged. Over time, the empire faced growing challenge, political conflicts weakened central authority. Regional rivers increased pressure on Khmer power. Trade routes gradually shifted towards coastal regions, reveals the importance of the island's capitals. At the same time, environmental conditions became less predictable. Periods of droughts were followed by intense monsoon rains. The greater system that had once supported the city's growth became increasingly difficult to maintain. As these pressures accumulated, Angkor slowly began to decline. The result was gradual. There was no single event that destroyed the city. Instead, neighborhoods were abandoned, population levels increased, political power moved elsewhere. The great capital became quieter with its passing generation. And as people left, the forest began to return, was pushed into cracks into stone wall, being spread across temple. Trees grew where crowded has once gathered. Year after year, vegetation covers more of the city. Roads disappeared beneath dense growth. Structures became hidden beneath the struggle copy. One of the most striking examples can still be seen as the Ta Prohm. Here, enormous trees rise directly from ancient temples. Their roots twist around stone blocks in dramatic pattern that seem almost impossible. Their signs look less like a historical sign and more like something from a forgotten world. For centuries, My uncle remains concealed beneath the forest. The temple was known, but the true scale of the city was not fully understood. The modern technology reveals a remarkable discovery. Using later a form of airborne laser mapping, researchers were able to see beneath the dense vegetation. What they found transformed our understanding of Angkor. Hidden beneath the jungle were roads, canals, embankments, and entire districts that had remained invisible from the ground. What appears to be a collection of isolated temples was actually part of an enormous interconnected city. The discovery confirmed that Angkor was far larger and more sophisticated than anyone that has emerged. Today, Angkor stands as one of the greatest achievements of the ancient world. It tells a story of engineering ambitions and imperial power, but it also tells a story of change. Its builder created monuments designed to last for generations. Many of them still stand. Yet the city itself could not remain untouched forever. The forest waited patiently, and when human activity faded, nature slowly reclaimed the landscape. Walking through Angkor to feel like stepping between two worlds, one shaped by human hands, the other by time. Towering temples emerged from the jungle. Ancient stones stand beside massive trees. History and nature exist side by side, and together they remind us that even this great city can be eventually become part of the landscape that surrounds the Petra, Tikal. They made a city hidden by the rainforest. Angkor was swallowed by the jungle of Southeast Asia. Our next destination takes us deeper into the rainforest of Central America. Here, hidden beneath a vast canopy of green, lies the remains of one of the greatest cities of ancient Maya world. Its name is Tikal. Located in present-day Guatemala, Tikal was once among the most powerful and influential cities in the Americas. Today, visitors can see its towering stone pyramid rising above the treetops. The size extraordinary. Ancient temples emerged from the forest like islands in a sea of vegetation. Howler monkeys echoed through the jungle. Tropical birds move between the branches. The rainforest seems to surround everything. Yet more than 1,000 years ago, the landscape looks very different. At its height, Tikal was a thriving urban center filled with villages, palaces, temples, and homes. Thousands of people live within the city and surrounding region. Its rule command amidst established alliance and constitutes rival major kingdom for influence and power. For centuries, Tikal stood at the center of a sophisticated civilization known for its achievements in astronomy, mathematics, architecture, and writing. The city expanded over generations. The temples were built. Monuments celebrate important rulers and victories. Public space houses ceremony attended by a large crowd. Among the city's most impressive structures were its massive primaries, some rising more than 60 meters above the first floor. From their summits, major roads could look across a vast urban landscape stretching towards the horizon. Life in Tikal, however, depended upon careful management of resources. Unlike many ancient cities built beside major rivers, Tikal lacked a permanent nearby reservoirs. Its inhabitants developed reservoirs and systems designed to collect and store rainwater. These innovations had sustained a growing population and allowed the city to flourish for centuries. But success brought new challenges. As populations increased, competition for resources became more intense. Political rivalries between major kingdoms grew stronger. Conflicts became more frequent. At the same time, evidence suggests part of Maya wars experienced prolonged periods of drought. These environmental pressures may have placed additional strains on already complex societies. No single event can take us decline. Instead, a combination of factors gradually weakened the city. Political instability increased, resources became more difficult to manage, population level began to fall, construction slowed, public activity decreased. The great blizzard that had once hosted ceremonies and celebrations became quieter with each passing generation. Eventually, many residents left. The city was not destroyed, it got abandoned, and as people moved away, the rainforest began to advance. Seeds took root in abandoned courtyards. Trees grew beside temples. Roots spread through stone structure. Year after year, vegetation covers more of the year. The jungle moved slowly, but it never stops. Over centuries, Tycho became increasingly difficult to see. Its pyramids remain standing, but much of the surrounding cities disappeared beneath dense forest. From above, the landscape appeared to an endless sea of green. Few signs scattered that one of the ancient world's greatest city lay hidden below. For generations, much of Tycho remains isolated from the outside world. The rainforest protected its secret. Then archaeologists began uncovering its story. Excavations revealed temple, places, inscriptions, and monuments that offers valuable insight into Maya civilization. Its discovery helped researchers better understand the people who had once lived there. But some of the most important discoveries came with modern technology. Using later, researchers were able to map the landscape beneath the forest company. But they found was astonishing. Hidden beneath the rainforest were roads, terraces, fortifications, and settlements spread across a much larger area than previously believed. It was an isolated ceremonial center. It was part of a vast and interconnected brain network. The Maya words proved to be far larger and more sophisticated and earlier generation had imagined. Today, stands was as one of the most important archaeological sites in America. Visitors climb ancient pyramids and look out across the visible. Everything else remained hidden beneath the forest. It is a powerful reminder of how complex nature can transform a landscape. Yet Tycho also demonstrates something else. The rainforest that concealed the city has protected. By covering the ruin, the jackals preserve important traces of Maya history into architecture. Archaeologists could uncover them again. Nature did not erase Tycho completely, it simply hid it. For centuries, the city waited beneath its company, silent, quite forgotten by much of the world, until history found it once more. Today, its temples still rise above the forest, standing as monuments to a civilization that shaped the ancient America, and as a reminder that even the greatest city can disappear from view while their story endures. For pictures, the road cities were ruined by the lasers. As people disappear in the rainforest, our next lost city faced a very different fate. There's going to be Saint Jaco here, the towering trees slowly covering Tibetan's place. Instead, Petra was surrounded by one of the harshest environments on Earth, the deserts. Hidden among the sandstone mountains of present days, Jordan lies one of the most remarkable cities ever created. A city covered directly into stone. It's named Petra. Petra is one of the world's most famous archaeological sites. Visitors reach it by passing through a narrow canyon known as the Sea. Towering cliffs rise on both sides, blocking the view ahead. Then slowly the canyon opens, and there it stands. The treasury is magnificent facades carved into rose-colored rock nearly 2,000 years ago. It's one of the most recognizable monuments in the world. Yet Petra was from more than a single building. It was once the capital of the Nabatean kingdom and one of the most important trading centers of the ancient world. Its location placed it at the crossroads, a major caravan route connecting Arabia, Egypt, and the Mediterranean. Merchants already carrying spices, incense, tithe, and other valuable goods from eastern regions. Transport well crossroad and grow transformation into a thriving city. Across the surrounding cliffs, the Nabateans covered towns, temples, public buildings, and ceremonial space directly into the rock. The scale of the construction was extraordinary. Entire mountain-sides became architecture. Columns, stairways, and decorative facades emerged from solid stone through years of skilled labor. Inventory. Visitors often struggle to understand how much a city was created. Especially greatest achievement may not have been its architecture. It's its ability to survive in these deserts. Water was scarce. Rainfall was limited and unpredictable. Under such conditions, plotting a large population should have been extremely difficult. The Nabateans overcame this challenge through engineering. They built reservoirs, channels, cisterns, and designed to capture and store glaciers waters. Flash floods were controlled, water was collected and preserved. This system allowed the city to flourish in an environment where survival itself was a challenge. For centuries, Petra prospered. Its population grew, its monuments multiplied, its influence spread throughout the region. Through those who lived there, the city may have seemed secure and permanent. But the first step in history was already beginning to change. Over time, trade routes evolved. More commerce shifted towards maritime transportation, with thus one travels through deserts. Caravans increasingly moved by sea. As a result, Petra's strategic importance gradually declined. The city was no longer the essential cause discovered these difficulties. Served as a quite diminished part of the tradition over centuries, affecting buildings and infrastructure. Combined with economic decline, the challenge weakened the city. The transformation happened slowly, generation by generation. The population decreased, activity diminished. The one busy capital became quieter, then quieter still. Unlike Archaeology or Tikal, Petra was not reclaimed by earth force. Instead, its core absorbed by the desert landscape surrounding it. Wide corridors across abandoned pathways. Stones face waters beneath centuries of sun, rain, and erosion. As time passed, the city faced from the center of history. Although local communities continued to know of its existence, much outside was gradually forgotten. For centuries, Petra remained hidden within small desert canyons. Travelers passed nearly without realizing that way beyond the cliffs, the city became a legend. A place mentioned in story but rarely seen then is early 19th century, which returned to the world's attention. A part of the communities documented the site and described its extraordinary monuments. News of the lost city occurs directly into stone capture the imagination of people around the globe. As archaeological research explained, the picture revealed itself to be even more impressive than expected. Researchers uncrowded additional temples, townhomes, and public space. The city proved to be a masterpiece of engineering and adaptation. Today, Petra attracts visitors from every corner of the world. Its rose-colored cliffs remain among the most iconic images in archaeology. Its Petra offers more than beauty. It tells a story of human ingenuity. The Nabateans transfer a harsh environment into a thriving center of trade and culture. They turn stone into architecture, scarcity into opportunity, and a diversely interwoven ancient world's greatest city. But Persia also reminds us that no city remains unchanged forever. Change negotiates. Economies evolve, whole political power moves elsewhere. Landscapes continue their slow transformation. The monuments of Persia's mind, historic mind, yet the city itself could not escape the path of time. To its visitors walking through its silent canyons encounter more than ancient ruins. The encounters remain of a civilization that once flourished against extraordinary odds. A city cave from stone, a city shaped by the lasers, and a city that endured long after the world has nearly forgotten it. Part 5. Nan Madol, the forgotten city of the Pacific. When Petra was sacked by the lasers, its lost city emerged from the waters of the Pacific Ocean. Far from the great empires Asia, Europe, and Middle Earth, is Lion one of the most unusual archaeological sites on Earth. A city built not on a mountain beside a reef or across a fertile plain, but on the edge of the sea. Its name is Nan Madol. Located off the coast of Pompeii, in the forest state of Micronesia, Nan Madol looked unlike any other ancient city. Stone walls rise from shallow waters, narrow canals separate clusters of artificial islands. Mangroves grow between ancient structures. From above, side simmers a mist scatters across the ocean. At the first glance, it almost seems impossible, yet centuries ago, it was political and ceremonial center of Earth's powerful island society. Between the 10th and 17th century, Nan Madol served as the capital of the Southern dynasty, which ruled much of Pompeii. From here, later grew the island organized religious ceremony and control important aspects of daily life. The city lays out extraordinary rather than being built on natural land. Nan Madol consisted of nearly 100 artificial islands connected by waterways. This small island was constructed using chlorophyll and enormous basalt stone stacked into massive walls and platforms. Some of the stone weighs several tons. Even today, one question continues to fascinate archaeologists: how were these enormous blocks transported and assembled? The builder has no modern machinery, no scans, and no advanced transportation system. Yet they successfully create one of the most distinctive urban landscapes in the ancient world. Whatever methods they use, the achievements require planning, organization, and skilled labor on a remarkable scale. For centuries, the city flourished. Its waterways functioned like streets, both moved between distinct carrying people and supplies. Ceremonies took place within scarce compounds. Political leaders exercised authority from impressive stone accomplished. Nan Madol became a symbol of power and prestige. But like every city in our journey, it eventually faced decline. The reasons are not entirely clear. Political authority shifted. The Solar dynasty lost control. The center of power emerged elsewhere on the island. As the population moved away, the city gradually lost its importance. The trains for slow building was abandoned. Ceremonial activity decreased. The once active capital became increasingly quiet. Then nature began to reshape the landscape. Unlike Angkor and Tikal, where forests advanced across abandoned city, Nan Madol faced a combined force of land and sea. Mangroves spread through the road, which roots between stone walls. Ocean tide eroded its whole structure. Stone boundaries the coastline. Years and years, the environment slowly transformed the city. The artery that had once connected it became overgrown. Vegetation spread across abandoned compounds. Nature reclaimed the space once occupied by rulers and spirits. People of its road location, the model remained largely unknown to the outside world for centuries. Story and legends surrounded by the route. Some described powerful rulers, others spoke of mysterious builders capable of moving enormous stone across the sea. The city's unusual appearance only adds to its reputation as one of the Pacific greatest mysteries. Modern archaeology has revealed much about Nan Madol, but many questions remain unanswered. Researchers have uncovered evidence of elite residence, ceremonial structure, and complex social organization. The site demonstrates that ancient Pacific societies were capable of remarkable achievements long before outside contact. They want to challenge outdated assumptions about the history of remote island civilization. And a society capable of large-scale construction, political organization, and sophisticated planning. Services the culture played unlike any other. Ancient stone walls emerged from coastal water. Mangrove was through abandoned canals. The sound of waves replaced the voice as one fills the city. There's a sense of isolation that makes Nan's model feel suspended between past and present. The extreme setting is what makes it unforgettable. It's called hidden beneath a rainforest. It's called not buried beneath desert sands. Instead, it exists between land and sea, such by both, but fully belongs to neither. For centuries, Nan Madol stood as the heart of an island kingdom. But its people left, and nature slowly reclaimed the city. Yes, its walls remain, its cannot remain, and its mysteries remain, waiting to remind us that our history's most remarkable city was built in a place where few would ever expect them to exist. Of course, the capital of the Pacific, a city served by water, and one of the world's most extraordinary examples of a landscape reclaimed by nature. Pacific. Heracleion, Egypt's lost city beneath the sea. While Nan Madol stood between land and sea, our final lost city experienced an even more dramatic fate. It did not merely decline beside the water. It experienced it straight beneath the Mediterranean Sea of past earth. Egypt lies the maintain of a city that was once one of the most important parts of the ancient world. Its name was Heracleion, known to Egyptian astronomers. Heracleion stood near the mouth of the Niger. When street routes connected Egypt through wider Mediterranean, and before Alexandria became famous, Heracleion served as a major gateway into the kingdom. Slowly carrying goods from distant lands, merchants filled the harbour. Officials collected tax. Pilgrims visited the square temple. For centuries, the city was a center of commerce, religious, and political influence. The location made it one of the busiest parts in the region. People from different cultures met here. Ideas were exchanged, forests, wealth flow through its streets and harbor. The city was also home to important religious sites dedicated to Egyptian gods. Large temples attracted visitors from across the ancient world. Monuments and statues reflect the city's wealth and significance. To those who live there, Heracleion must have seemed skilled and prosperous. This means the city lay a hidden greatness. Much of the area was built on salt sediments deposited by the Nile over thousands of years. These sediments graced fertile lands, but they were far less stable than solid rock. For generations, rains remained invisible. Light continued as normal, trees expanded, temple grew larger, cities progressed, but natural forces were slowly changing this landscape. Researchers believe a combination of rising water flowing and geological instability gradually weakened the region. Over time, part of the ground began to sink. Structure became increasingly vulnerable. As the rain subsided, waters advanced. The process was not sudden. It unfolded across generations, building a great section of the city's spirit. The coastline chains eventually large portion of Heracleion sank beneath the Mediterranean Sea. Its streets vanished, its temple disappeared underwater, while the great city was lost. As centuries passed, uh, Heracleion fades from memory. Ancient texts describe the city, but its exact location remains unknown. Many people believe it has vanished forever. For more than 1,000 years, the ruin rests beneath the sea, hidden beneath layers of water and sediment. Then, in 2000, archaeologists made a remarkable discovery, looking in Abu Bay underwater. Massive status rests on the seabed. Timber ruins emerged from the sediment. Ancient and corn pottery and religious artifacts reveal detail about life at sea. The entire underwater world has survived beneath the Mediterranean. The discovery stems from historians' understanding of ancient Greece and its maritime connection. For the first time, researchers could directly study a city that had experienced beneath the sea. Its artifacts provide new information about trees, religions, and daily life in the ancient world. Perhaps the most surprising part of Heracleon's story is that the sea did not simply destroy the city. In many ways, it preserved its protected beneath layer of sediments. Numerous artifacts survived for centuries. The same water was thus swallowing Heracleion could also significantly part of its history. It's a pattern we have seen throughout history. Nature concealed, and sometimes it's protected as well. Today, Heracleion remains one of the most important underwater archaeological sites on Earth. Nature continues to uncover new discoveries from beneath the sea. Each one is now the piece the story of a city that was once thought lost forever. Standing at the end of our journey through this forgotten city, Heracleion serves as a powerful reminder of how dramatically landscape can change. Train became an underwater ruin. Busy streets became like silent seabeds. Monuments, monuments that once towered above cars now rest beneath the great yes, the city endured. Its stories fine and thus archaeology is people continue to speak across the centuries. But history is not always buried beneath the ground. Something is lying beneath the sea, waiting patiently to be found again. Has saved. When nature takes back what humans will. Our journey has taken us across jungle, transformed deserts, islands, and sea. We have explored the ruins of Angkor, once in the heart of a powerful empire hidden beneath the forests of Cambodia. We have visited Tikal, where towering Maya's temple stood concealed beneath the rainforest for centuries. We have walked through Petra, a magnificent city carved into a stone of gradually absorbed by the deserts. We have traveled through Nan Madol, a mysterious capital built among the waters of the Pacific. And we have descended beneath the Mediterranean to already discover Heracleion, a city that vanished beneath the sea. It's if these play follow a different path. They were built by different culture. They exist in different environments. They rose through prominency during different periods of history. Yet despite their difference, they all reveal the same lesson. The city lasts forever. Through history, they have built monuments designed to endure for generations. The Great Temple Palace grows higher and entire works that seem permanent. For a time, many of those achievements appear unshakable. City flourished, empire expanded, wealth and influence grew. To the living within her, it may have seemed impossible that there could ever disappear, but history rarely stands still. Just through strange political system evolve, results become scarce, environmental conditions exist, and great enough pressure combined, even the most powerful societies can struggle through that. The city, the city explorer was not destroyed by a single force. The story was just by many factors working together. Climate change placed pressure on staff. Economic and political transformation affected others. Natural disaster altered entire landscape. As human influence weakened, nature slowly moved in. Forests spread across abandoned roads, pushed through stone walls. Deserts green reserved forgotten pathway. Water reclaimed lands that had once supported three communities. What makes these stories so fascinating is that nature is more than it is. It owns preserved the jungles protected part of Angkor and Tikal for centuries. The deserts held sacred precious monuments. The water above Heracleion preserved artifacts that may otherwise have been lost. Again and again, the same pattern appeared. Nature became both destroyer and guardian because that the city was not lost forever. The greatest, hidden from view, protected by the very environment that has reclaimed them. Then explorers, archaeologists, and researchers uncovered their stories once again. Every discovery expanded our understanding of the past, and every discovery reminds us how much remains unknown. Even today, new technology continues to reveal traces of ancient settlements hidden beneath forests, deserts, and oceans. There may still be forgotten city waiting to be found. Entire chapters of human history may remain concealed beneath the landscape around us. Perhaps that is why our city continues to capture our imagination. They are more than rules. They are a reminder of what human beings can achieve. The people who built Angkor, Tikal, Nan Madol, and Heracleion create extraordinary place that reflects their college creativity and ambitions. Although their city declined, their achievements do not disappear completely too. Their stories fine, their monuments fine, and through archaeology, their voice continued to reach us across the century. The cities also remind us of something else, humility. No matter how advanced a society becomes, it remains connected to the world around it. Civilization rise, to flourish, to build wonder that seem capable of lasting forever. This time continues moving forward. Landscape continue changing, and eventually, every city becomes part of history. As we leave this lost city behind, one question remains: if entire capital could disappear in the jungles, deserts, and oceans, what other forgotten worlds might still be waiting beyond our view? Somewhere beneath a forest, a company, somewhere beneath shifting sands, or somewhere beneath the sea, another city may still be there, silenced, hidden, waiting to tell its story, and waiting to remind us that his story is far larger, richer, and more mysterious than we often imagine.